All right, once you get your slabs rolled out, so I rolled out this slab, and it's the thickness that I wanted, and I took it to my table and laid it down on a sheet of newspaper. Okay, now I'm going to cut out the sides of my box. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to have a model, for example, of what my box is going to be. Okay, so this box is a square box. It's going to have a top and a bottom. I'm going to make it so it's completely enclosed, because what I want to do then is after it's enclosed, I want to cut it out in sort of an irregular shape. So I'm going to enclose it first, okay? Like this one. And after I get it enclosed, later when it's leather hard, I'm going to cut this out so that the top lifts off. Here's another example here of one that's been opened up, and you can see the top fits in like a puzzle, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting out slabs that are the size of this. So this is my paper pattern that I made. So in other words, I need to make 4 sides just like this, okay? These happen to be 5 by 5, each one of these square sides, okay? Now, if my 4 sides are 5 by 5, then my base has to be larger, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this on top of the base. So the slab that goes on the bottom is going to be larger than the box itself. So what I'm going to do is build it on the base, and then also for that same base, I'm going to use that for the top as well. The top's going to be larger as well. That way, I make the sides, I stand them up on the base, and then I put the top on, and then after I get them attached, then I trim them off so it's a nice cube or a box, okay? Now, I keep saying box. Box could be a rectangular too, so you could have 2 sides that are square, 2 sides that are longer. So maybe my box is this shape, okay? But whatever shape it is, I need to plan it out ahead of time. I need to know how many sides it's going to have. Is it going to be a pyramid? Is it going to be a square? Is it going to be a rectangle? And then I'm going to cut my slabs out. So this is how I cut my slabs. I'm going to make a box right now. And this is going to be the sides of my box. This is going to be the base and also the top. So I cut them out. And so I need 4 of these and 2 of these. 4 sides, 1 base, and 1 top. Okay? So this is what I do. I lay it on my clay slab like so, and then I just take a knife and I cut it out. Okay, I cut out my slabs, and you can see now I'm going to have a lot of extra clay here. What I want to do with that extra clay is immediately, as soon as you get these cut out, immediately let's get these a little damp. Let's kind of flatten them out, make them into a slab again, and slap it on there. But don't leave them in a ball like this, because they'll get dry and they'll get ruined. So now, if, let's say, you roll slabs out, and let's say you needed 6 of them like I have here, but you only fit 5. Take these extra pieces, roll them flat, put them back in the slab roller, roll them out again, and cut your extra slab. So right now, I've got the slabs that I need. So I've got 4 sides. Here are my 4 sides, okay? And then here are my base and also my top. Now, I want to build my box, but the problem is the clay in this state is really flexible. Like I said before, it's kind of like if you had to build a box and you only had square pancakes to use, the pancakes would be too floppy. So what I need to do, and this is the important part, I'm going to store these so that they become stiffer, and I'm going to assemble them later, okay? Now, keep in mind, right now they're real soft. So if you want to do any imprinting or any pushing into these, now is the time to do it when they're soft, not later, okay? So like some things, for example, this project here, you can see this is one where they have grooves imprinted. Those could be imprinted when it's soft, and then later when it's leather hard, you can add like the turtles and the shell and things like that. So some things will be pushed in and some things will be added to it, okay? So let's just say you wanted to push something in. Let's say that you have something like this and you wanted to push that in and make this really cool circle design like that. You can see that. That looks pretty cool. Or let's say that you had something like this and you wanted to push that in, and you could put that there and push that down, and you make a really cool design like that. or maybe in the middle, then you do something like you push this one in the middle. So you can see how by pushing some designs in, you can make some pretty cool stuff pretty easily. Or perhaps you're gonna have a texture on there where you're gonna take this little ball and you're gonna indent it and make this little impression. So you're gonna push in the designs when they're soft. It's really easy to do. You're gonna store them so they become leather hard, okay? And then you're going to assemble your box when it's leather hard. So once again, there's a lot of things you can make designs with. I mean, look at this thing. I can go like this and push that in and make some pretty cool looking things. And I got a lot of, and just experiment. You know, sometimes kids even take things like this where they have like a spring and they just roll that spring across there. And look at those cool like grooves I just put in there pretty easily, okay? So that's some ways to make different designs. So you'd obviously have a plan ahead of time. Now, I need to store these, and this is really important how to store them. So this part you really got to listen to close, okay? So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take this is my board that's going to go in my my basket, okay? Now, when you store these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put newspaper on my board. And how I do that, this is a little method I like. I take the newspaper, I put it on the board on top of it, and then I just rip the extra newspaper off. So I just go like this, and I go like this, and look at that. I got a piece of newspaper that fits perfectly on my board. Now, your projects, if they fit on the board, like next to each other, if you can get them next to each other, go ahead and get them next to each other like this, okay? But let's say your slabs are a little bit big and you run out of room. Like right now, I've just run out of room. My slabs, I don't have room to lay my other slabs out. So what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to take another sheet of paper, okay, and I'm going to lay that on top of here, like this, and then I'm going to put my other slabs on top of that. Now what happens is this. That one sheet of newspaper kind of works like a sponge, and it'll suck some of the moisture out of my clay, okay? Now, this is important. Don't put multiple sheets of newspaper between your clay because that'll take too much moisture out, and your slabs will be rock hard when you get them out of the bag, and you won't be able to put them together, okay? So last step, I'm going to take a bag, and I had a bag here somewhere. Here we go. So we've got this roll of bags again, and I'm going to take one of the bags off of there. Okay, open up the bag, like so. Okay, and I'm going to put my entire bag, my entire board in the bag. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that this is tight over this. Get it tight. And wrap it around the bottom. I don't want much air in here. If there's too much air, your slabs will be, if there's too much air, your slabs will be too dry. So I'm going to push this around and get most of the air out. And what will happen is, in like 2 days' time, I'm going to take these slabs out and they're going to be stiff. And then I'm going to assemble my box when the slabs are stiff, okay? Now, things like this, after my box is completely assembled, then, and I've got it looking great, then I will cut this out when the clay is leather hard and really stiff. So all these tops you see, like this, those are all cut out later after the box was assembled. This particular one here, this looks like it has some glass jewels in the top. So what you would do is you would push those jewels into the clay when they're soft so that later after you assemble your box, you can then glue them in those little impressions that you made by pushing them into the clay. If you were doing something like this, a light box, what you would do is you would completely build the box first, totally enclosed, okay? Then you would gently carve some lines in the side and saw those holes out after the box is leather hard, okay? So you don't cut these out ahead of time, you cut it out after the box has been assembled. Got it? That's it.